We've all heard the term influencer. It's basically someone who promotes fashion, foods, or services to their followers on social media. But have you heard the term de-influencer? Well, it's getting a lot of attention on social media right now as people try to help you spot items that are overhyped or you simply don't need. And in today's Style File, Studio 5 beauty contributor Megan Moore is ready to do a little de-influencing herself, sharing advice she says will make you think twice before adding something to your cart. Megan, I think we could all use a little de-influencing in our world of consumerism, and I feel like I'm always adding things to my cart. Is that what inspired you?
Yes, I think I'm seeing the shift, like where people are, again, feeling like we've been over-consuming, for sure, right? So we're kind of shifting back to that, like making smarter choices with our money as everything is just costing more.
Yeah.
But also, the algorithms have us targeted hard, right?
They do.
It's like they read our minds. And so I think there's some really important questions to ask ourselves before we let those ads and those influencers tell us to buy something, because we might just not need it.
It's so hard because I feel like I see an ad once, I'm easy, I can pass over it. I see it twice. When it hits a third or fourth time, I'm like, do I need this?
Yes, there is some definite like mental manipulation there, seeing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share some of the things that didn't work for me in a lighthearted way. I will say, you know what, if you love these things, good for you. I hope they work for somebody. They just didn't work for me. And then I'm going to give you some ideas of things that you can kind of run through your mind before you make your next purchase.
All right, de-influence me. De-influence me.
Let's do it. Okay, this first one. I knew I wasn't going to like it, but I saw it so many times. I was like, I have to buy it.
I have to try it.
This is snail mucin.
I have tried it. I wasn't going to admit it. I did. I tried it.
And what did you think? Kay, I literally was able to use this like maybe 2 times. Look, you can see, can you see like the...
Yeah, it was a texture thing for me.
And that's why I knew I wasn't going to like it, but I was like, everybody loves this, right?
Yeah.
I know. We don't need snail mucin on our face. There's a reason that it's like gross. It's gross.
It is. And it's also like when I told my husband what it was, he was like, ugh.
Right?
Like, don't touch me, don't look at me. And I was like, I know, I kind of felt that way too.
I know. And so that's one of those things where it's like, if you know that it's probably not going to be for you on a texture standpoint, don't buy it.
Okay. All right. So we're passing on the snail mucin. This next one, I already told you, I'm going to admit this one. I said I wasn't, but now I have this on my face right now.
And that's okay. If it works for you, great. This is one of those highlight wands. Now, let me tell you why I don't love this. Anything that comes in the sponge applicator like this is so messy. You can't put it back in, right? So it just gets everywhere, and that drives me crazy. But for me and my texture of skin, this is far too much reflection. This looks like if I was wearing a safety vest and it was on my face. Now, you have younger skin than me, so maybe this works for you, but I know that in my age, this is too much, and it highlights all of the texture.
I will say I use it very minimally, like, because it's very pigmented.
It's very bright. And I mean, look at it even from a distance. And I will say too, it's like, maybe you think you like it, but actually, do you really?
Okay, let's move on, Megan. We're moving on.
Okay, so here's another one that went super viral. These are the bronzing drops.
I've heard of these.
You couldn't get them in Sephora. They would sell out all the time, and I wanted to love these so much. But here's the problem with bronzing drops is it doesn't make much sense to me because it's only putting like bronzer, which is quite orangey and again metallic, not good for mature skin, on my face. But then the rest of my body is not this color.
I was going to say you're not the same.
So I couldn't figure out why this was so big to everybody, and would also cling to my dark spots and just make them darker.
Okay.
So I just didn't understand the bronzing drops. I just think that this might work for 10-year-olds, but it does not work for 40-year-olds.
All right.
Just saying.
Just say no to the bronzing drops. Next.
Okay, this is another one that I bought because the ads were everywhere. These were, this kind of powder was all over my Instagram, and I actually did a video about this because I was frustrated with the marketing, but they call this a foundation, and in my brain, I know
I saw this video.
that powder, it does not do the same thing as foundation. I know that in my brain, and I think most women do, but the ads were so big that you're like, oh, it must be this amazing powder that does something that no other powder has ever been able to do.
We're losing space on the hand here, sis.
I know, but it does nothing. It gives no coverage. It doesn't give any kind of coverage. So I'm like, how is this a foundation?
Yeah.
This one did me dirty. I will definitely de-influence you on that
Okay,
one.
let's do a quick touch on this one. This is weird. Hairspray for your face. Why?
Well, I don't know. And that's why I was like, why do I need need hairspray for my face. It literally looks like hairspray. It smells like it. It's like pure alcohol on your face, and it made my face feel like the Tin Man. I couldn't move it. So again, why would I want this?
It's a Botox in a bottle.
If it looks like hairspray, it probably is hairspray. Don't put it on your face.
Don't put it on your face. Okay, well actually, so now you're gonna give us some questions that we can ask ourselves. If it looks like it's too good to be true, it probably is. So ask yourself these questions and then see if it's worth the buy. The first one is this product being recommended by a real person?
Yeah, a real person and somebody that looks like you, right? If you're in your 60s, it doesn't make sense to be looking at influencers in their 20s. If you're not somebody that wears full glam, if you're a more natural person, then don't be looking at somebody that wears full glam, because what they love probably won't be what you love, right?
Yes.
So that makes sense. Make sure that your influencers actually align with what you're trying to achieve, right?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yep,
okay?
makes sense. Next.
Perfect. So then, does it fill a hole in your categories, right? Is it something you actually need, or is it just going to be adding to your collection of things you already have? So same with your wardrobe, right? You don't need to keep adding the same thing over and over again. Make sure, and a good way to tell if you need that is would I easily throw away something to replace it with this? If I wouldn't throw it away, that means I probably like it enough that I don't even need to be replacing it, right? So think about it that way. Is it actually going to give me something I need?
Okay, I'm going to pop through the last of these questions here. Is this product what I would use daily or multiple times a week? Are the claims simply too good to be true? Is this an ad designed to play on my emotions and convince me to spend money? These are all questions. We'll put these on our website. You can go and look for these, but these are all questions that I think they're really beneficial. Megan, where can we find more from you?
Of course, always at thebeautysnoop.com and over on my Instagram at BeautySnoop.
That video about the foundation, it's really funny. Check it out. Yeah. Thanks, Meg.
You bet.